Welcome to all those that are here that actually got here before me who are on time because I wasn't. I apologize. It has been a crazy day as usual. And then I had to go home and fight the crowd to get Valentine's cards and candy and stuff for my daughter and my wife and everything else. And I literally just ran inside the house. You know, I'm too fat to run, but came inside the house and told everybody, okay, I'm here. And okay, I'm going on YouTube. And that was it. So, how's everybody doing? Yeah, missing your watch was ahead several minutes. It's really just 7 o'clock here on Louisiana time. So, and I have been so busy at work trying to recover from Super Bowl stuff and catch up on my real job that I have no idea what's going on in the crypto world. So, I don't know. Bitcoin seems to be still going sideways. I don't know for how much longer. If y'all caught my Monday video, I pretended like I knew how to do TA for a while. See if I can pull that up. Like I pretend. I drew these cool lines to pretend like I knew what I was doing. And it actually went back all the way to the 4-hour chart. And it's just funny how when you go back far enough, you can see where these lines hit a couple of times and stuff like that. And it's cool how sometimes it works out and sometimes it makes you look like a fool. And I probably made it look like a fool, but eventually at some point, this is all going to consolidate at the end. And I know this might be the first time y'all have ever heard this, but you know, it's either gonna go up or it's gonna go down. Who knows? It could keep going sideways. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Can't believe how low peak is. I'll tell you right now, I have been just broke the last, and I know I'm not supposed to say that because somebody's gonna call me out on some thing but it's just it seems like there's always some new bill, something new coming at the house, there's always some new catastrophe I gotta deal with. So let's see what peak's doing. Oh yeah, peak's down. It's down. That is for sure. This is the 1-hour chart, 20 cents. It is. Here's the 4-hour. I don't know where the support will be. Let me see. Support's going to be 18 cents is the lowest. 19 cents. I guess we'll see what happens. Tell you what, though, I'm letting y'all know right now, tomorrow's payday. Friday, payday, every other Friday. And y'all know I DCA into some tokens. And I can tell you right now, not financial advice. You know, maybe I got to do my little goofy, disclaimer thing so that nobody gets upset with me. You know, crypto YouTube has been around for I don't know how long. And the fact that people can still call me out and other YouTubers out in YouTube, there you go. So I don't want nobody to get upset. The fact that somebody can still call me out or anybody else out in YouTube about buying tokens and selling tokens and everything, you must be new to the game. You know, I put out my video a while back and about 2 weeks ago about that, and you still have people talking about I'm selling tokens and I'm telling people to buy. I ain't telling anybody to buy nothing. I'm telling you what I'm doing, and it's not financial advice. It's just showing y'all what I'm doing, and I'm telling people don't copy me. But I'm telling y'all right now, I'm buying peak, and I don't know what else is. What else is a good buy right now? I don't know. I saw grass was down. Grass. Maybe one day somebody can tell me how grass is doing whatever they're doing. The fact that they've had one token drop back in October, and there's a lot of fluctuation and a lot of volume going through some of these exchanges for a token that did one drop. Oh, let's see what else. Ethereum. This is the 4-hour chart. Ethereum's basically been sideways. It's I bought some VET down here. Anytime I see VET now underneath under 3 cents at 2.9, 2.8, 2.7, 2.5 or anything like that, I jump on VET. I got a very big holding of it, and I even buy the gas token, whatever that is, Veto or whatever like that. Because when you look at the price of what that was in the last bull market and what it is now, you can like 10x on it. It's crazy. Crow, I'm just using the hell out of my card. I pay all my bills with my Crow card. I started with 4,000 tokens, 4,600 tokens, 4,500 tokens, and now I'm up to like 30,000 tokens. If that goes back to $1, that's what it was before, I'll do great. You know, I saw somebody talking about Lunk earlier. I'm staking just all my Lunk. I got millions and millions of it. What else? Helium. Helium's at $3.90. Hit $4, and Helium's another one. I tell you, if this can get back to $30, I'll be happy. I can't see it going to 50 again, but who knows? Nobody knows nothing. Look at grass. But I own a lot of grass tokens. I know a lot of y'all do. I know a lot of y'all have been in here been in Helium for a while. I don't know how much y'all still hold, but it is what it is. AVAX is down $25. That's probably gonna be another DCA for me tomorrow. When you figured it was just 2 months ago, it was up to $55. So what was Solana at? Solana under $200 these days is a good buy. I mean, I was buying it at 125, 130, and I was telling y'all I'm sorry, I wasn't telling y'all to buy it. I was telling y'all that it was a good buy for me at under $130, $125. So that's where that's at. Nadix. Poor Nadix. Somebody needs to give them and Trump token, because somebody brought up Trump token a while back. So I still have this alert right here. Yeah, Trump came and went. I sold my Trump somewhere in the 20s. I bought it for like $12 or $13, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. That was sold 2 months ago, a month ago. So anyway, that's where we are with the market. I don't know what else is going on. I saw 375 AI had an announcement earlier, if y'all saw that. I know some of y'all are in there. Some of y'all follow me. I'll put some notes down of stuff I wanted to go over. So let's see. Yeah, been cutting bills so I can survive, buy a little crypto. I was doing that too, but you know, when eggs are $14, I had chickens 3, 4, 5, 6 years ago, and it was nice to go out there, and especially on Saturday or Sunday morning, just like the old cliche that you can go out there and get your eggs and stuff right out the butt as they chipped around. But eventually they got older and quit laying eggs, and or they stayed out too late, and coyote came by and picked one off or something like that. And I ended up I started with 12, and between old age and whatever else, ended up with 3 or 4 at the end that didn't lay anymore, and they went to somebody else's house. But now you wish you had them freaking chickens. Chickens are the best thing in the world. Let me tell y'all real quick. For those who don't know, some of y'all city folk or whatever, chickens are better than kids. Chickens automatically go roost back in their little house or whatever it is, their coop, when it starts getting dark, when it starts getting sunset, they're the best things. No matter how far out they roam, they come back to their roost and they're just perfect little children. I wish I could teach, I could have taught my children that back then. But yeah, I agree with you. Like I was trying to not go out to eat in all the crazy places. I was even bringing my lunch to work sometimes just so I can save a little bit of money and buy more crypto. Me, I was putting my stuff into projects and stuff like that, but I was kind of doing that same thing too. Just got into Daba. Don't know if I'm not into Daba just because, listen, it could be a great project. I'm not saying it's not a good project. I don't know anything about it. I just know like Wingbits, 375, Silencio, whatever you want to, those projects. Even I'm not into XNet, but even XNet, if I was to join that, or some of these weather ones, I can put my hands on the devices and I know it's a good project. I just got burned with a lot of y'all know my history that several of us got burned by certain projects. And when I hear about a project that's too good to be true, because Daba's supposed to be doing some good things. If this is the same one, is this the one with the Wi-Fi that's supposed to be in India or somewhere else, and you're buying a station, but they're putting the station out? I've heard that before with a previous project that is no longer around. And I'm not saying that is, but that's just me. That's just me. And hey, if y'all in it, y'all doing good, congratulations. I don't know if they have mainnet, testnet, or anything like that. Grumpy, do you do natives? I got an Aurora. Didn't know if it was just like natives, so it's useless to me. I do natives. If you check some other videos out, and I was very, very high on natives during testnet. And then the first month, I made like $125 the first month on it, which ended up being a pretty decent return. But it didn't take long to realize that if you're not out there driving literally 6 or 7 hours a day, you're never going to, because it doesn't pay you per your mileage. It pays you per ranking. And the only way you can get a top ranking is if you drive constantly. If you're across the road truck driver or Uber, Lyft, rideshare driver. In January, I went, because I didn't kill anything, so I went hunting constantly. I took half the month off of work, constantly driving here, then driving 2.5 hours to hunting camp, hunting and stuff, and coming back either in the evening or the next day. And I put a lot of miles. I was ranked like in the high 100s on natives. And I ended up averaging to like 40 or 50 cents a day. Now again, it's a free app, so you didn't pay nothing, but it's also kind of a pain in the butt to constantly deal with too. And it's one thing if I never had to touch it, never have to deal with it, truly passive income at that price. But and then you see the price constantly going down. That's the Rover's one I wish I would have got into. It's just when they were announcing it and coming out, I think it was right before Christmas and stuff like that. I got kids, times were tight, and I just didn't know if I wanted the tarantula thing hanging off my truck. Not that I already don't have 2 or 3 antennas, but Rover's probably one I wish I would have got into. I had somebody ask me the other day about, they commented on one of my videos asking a question about GeoPulse. So if anybody here is in GeoPulse and can tell everybody how your rewards are going, what's going on with GeoPulse, please do. I kind of, my response to him, because as far as I know, my response was that I don't know, because right now they had a challenge. So if you do that challenge, you're getting rewards. But once that challenge was over with, you're not getting anything for GeoPulse. It's just acting as a repeater for places that, or if you have devices in your car or somebody's close to you and they need fine-tuned centimeter GPS or whatever it is like that, you repeat that as a repeater, kind of like a radio system or something like that. So 6 days out the week, you're not getting paid to provide that service. Some people who, look, I'm a huge fan of the GeoNet network. If you want to buy it, hey, go to HiFix. Y'all know I got a code somewhere, one of these hidden boxes. And if you want get into it, I support that network wholly. I think GeoNet is a great project. You can get 10% off of it if you want at HiFix. But if you're not doing a challenge, and I don't know how often those challenges come out, then you're not going to make it in GeoNet. So that's, I kind of warned people about that. And now you're starting to see people who don't listen. Not that I think everybody's going to watch my videos. Not that I'm that conceited or anything like that. But I knew that was going to happen when people realize they're driving around for 2 weeks now because there's no challenges going on. They're providing GeoNet service and not getting compensated for it. I knew that was going to happen. I called it, and I tried warning people about that. But if I would have had the flash money at the time, just because I support GeoNet network, I would have bought one. I just don't have that kind of flash money. You know, it's always something going on. Always something going on. I did bring home a and I wanted to bring it in, but I literally ran in here. I called my daughter on my way home and told her, turn my computer on, sign in for me, so I ain't got to sit there and wait for it to boot up and warm up and get the nuclear reactor going and stuff. Just so I can come running here and sit down for y'all, because I knew I was running late. But I do have a TP link in that I told you about for Warrior, that Warrior project that right now supposedly only pays for proof of coverage, so that as long as they know that you're online, you're getting paid for it. It's supposed to be a cool project. I haven't really had a chance to look that deep into it, the Super Bowl and stuff like that going. But if y'all are in Warrior, tell me how that's going. But that is one project I'm looking at. I think it costs, y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, $75 maybe of Solana to get that license. But just because I have not gotten into anything new, I'm kind of itching to get into something new. 619 OTA says, I got 2 of them. Was going to get a third, but jacked up the price while I was waiting for a physical SIM card. Get the pulse. Jay Styles asked me if I ever got another chirp. He's going to go ahead and trigger me early in this live. Did not get another chirp. I don't play the whole games. I think you did, and I know some people did, so I don't want to make this sound like a blanket statement to everybody, but I don't like the way that went down, especially how they continue doing it day after day, knowing what was happening. That pissed me off, and I hate to use any kind of language like that in my live, but that's the only way I can describe it. I question, me, y'all know me, I'm negative. That's why y'all come here for the entertainment purposes. I think it could have been handled differently, especially after day one. It was one thing when, I've been in Chirp since before Wingbits, before DFly, any of them. I was one of the very few, there was hardly anybody in the Discord. I don't even think they had like mods yet. That's how early I was in Chirp. And then we were in Chirp for 2 or 3 weeks, and they're telling us why it's going to be so much better than Helium. And I thought, hey, that'd be great. They were going to improve. They were going to take basically Helium, make a Helium 2.0, where they would see what Helium did wrong and how restrictive it was with devices and the frequencies, and open it up to all IoT and all stuff like that. And it sounded good. And then they're like, hey, I know we only been around for about 7 hours. Can you send us $850 for a device? And we were like, yeah, right, dude. And some people took that chance, and it took a year or something like that, if not longer than that, to finally get a Chirp device. Luckily, I won one. But you had to buy back in the beginning, you had to buy an NFT for $800 something. And then when they were finally ready to ship, you cashed in that NFT, or at some point in that process, through their website, and then you got the device sent to you. Well, that worked out. Well, now Chirp's a lot bigger. People know what it's about. A lot of people have great promise for it, me included. I've told y'all I've always wanted a second Chirp device. I'll talk about the app in a minute, but they finally were going. We kept asking, when y'all going on sale, when y'all put more on sale, when you put more on sale, and they would say, when we get closer to mainnet. Well, mainnet came, sure enough. Hey, now we're finally going to put some devices on sale, which I think is a good thing, because it goes to show you a little bit of trust, because they could have just been sitting back saying, yeah, we're selling them. Let's collect $800 and $800 and $800. And they didn't do that. They waited for it to go to mainnet. But then after the first day, you find out as soon as they go on sale, because it's an NFT, the scalpers can go hurry up and buy for $800 worth or $900, $895 worth of SUI, then turn right around and this was on the NFT website, and then turn around and sell it for $400 more. So they were just collecting all these NFTs, then turn around selling them. And then I also questioned the Chirp coin is live. The Chirp coin's constantly going down just because it's brand new. They're not putting any liquidity into it yet, but everybody wanted a TGE. They made a TGE. Why not require you to buy the Chirp token and use that for the NFT? My other question is, why are you still doing this NFT thing for devices? Y'all are established now. This is my opinion, strictly my opinion. Y'all can agree with me or disagree with me. Y'all don't hurt my feelings. Y'all know I like y'all's input. That's why I like doing these lives. But if you would have required, or if y'all would have scrapped if Chirp would have scrapped the NFT thing, and then they would have had to buy a physical device and then turn around and try to scalp that on eBay or something, there would have been a lot less scalping going on. But when these scalpers didn't have to worry about shipping, receiving, doing anything like that, or payments in eBay or whatever marketplace, whatever they wanted to use, all they had to do was just buy the NFT and then relist it. You opened it wide up for that. So the people like me and other people who I must have had, I'm telling you, at least 10, 12 different people DM me about this in Discord and other places, all PO'd because you have legitimate people trying to get into this project, and we all got scalped out because I'm not spending for it. Now you got some people who told me, hey, I lucked out because what happened was they set the price for Sui at this and then left. I mean, they set the price of so many Sui for that NFT, and then what Sui did the next 2 or 3 days later, it did this. So the device at one time that was $1,200, they got it for $900 something. Hey, that was pretty cool. I just refuse to buy from a scalper. And look, I know it's a stupid hill to die on, as they say, because somebody's going to come behind them and want to buy that NFT. Then go ahead. But I just refuse. If I'm going to spend that kind of money, it is what it is. So I know it's a very long answer, but that is that's the hill I'm dying on as far as Chirp. But to me, get rid of the stupid NFT thing. Make people just buy the actual device, and you'll have a lot less scalping going on or something. Oh. NFT, not effing touching. Yeah, that's about right. Dave, when you say that they should give you something for providing the service, you still talking about GeoPulse? That you're providing that GeoNet service or that GPS service or GNSS service, whatever it is, fine-tuned down to a centimeter, and you're repeating that and transmitting it to other devices in your cars and stuff like that, and that you're not getting paid. I'm guessing that's what you're kind of talking about. If all y'all can also please I hate sounding so needy, but if y'all can please make sure y'all hit that thumbs up or whatever like that. So before I touch on Wingbits, yep, just so I'm sure all y'all saw my excessive amount of YouTube shorts I made, just because I know I haven't been doing videos, so to try to keep the algorithm happy. So I was at the Super Bowl over the weekend, since it was 30 minutes away from my house. I got called or requested by another agency to come help them out with some stuff. And without getting into too much details, I thought it was awfully ironic, again, for those who have known me for the last 2 years and, kind of what project we were all with when we kicked this channel off. Thought it was awfully ironic that I was doing drone detection at the Super Bowl and talking to some very big heavy hitters in that industry, and some heavy hitters you're not allowed to talk about because they are, working with some 3-letter agencies. And you know me, just because I like to stir that mess and probably embarrass myself by asking, but I actually asked them about said previous project and the reiterations of the several different names they had, D-Sky, D-Drone, whatever, or Drodec, whatever the hell it was, and all that stuff like that. None of them never heard of them before. No, but for a company that was supposedly involved in Indianapolis 500 and all the Walmarts, and I can go on and on and on. No, I never heard of them. But I said I wouldn't discuss that project anymore, and I'm not. I just thought it was awfully ironic that I got a phone call from somebody, agency asking, because they know I do the RF type stuff and things like that, and that's what we were assisting with. And it's a little more advanced than, I'll be honest with you, I thought. I thought it would just detect just the Amazon DJI drones and that kind of stuff like that. And no, it's a step higher than that. And when you go and fly a drone in a no-fly zone, the FAA no-fly zone, it's not a good thing, because not only do you see the drone, but you see what a person is controlling it. And even the ones that change the frequency so that the old-fashioned drone detection companies, services, shouldn't be able to detect them, that don't fly no more. And it was a cool thing to see on that side, and driving around with little suitcase boxes and stuff like that, trying to do those detections, and driving up on the, yep. And certain companies that have jamming stuff, and it was cool. It was just cool experience. But while I was down there, I did a lot of KAGE, which is the Chirp project on the on the Android phone. So if you have an Android phone, you can do the Chirp KAGE thing. I see a lot of good things about the Chirp project with KAGE. For those people who don't want to spend $800 something, I was doing Chirp and getting a lot of connections. For those of y'all who are familiar with the KAGE app, it's KAGE. If y'all want to download it, it's a free app, and you basically just scan while you're driving around and stuff like that, and you get tokens for that. So if any of y'all want to use that, there's my code for Chirp. But with the Super Bowl and all those people there, and then I'm kind of walking, I'm not walking down Bourbon Street. It was way too packed. But when you're driving down those side streets and stuff, because my truck was authorized to be in some areas and stuff like that, but I had to just passively kind of just scanning and on the side, and it was tremendous. Also did 375 Go app while I was there also. So those are two things that, if you want to download that, the Super Bowl was cool. I tell you, if you didn't feel safe in New Orleans during the Super Bowl, you will never feel safe anywhere. They had more military, more police officers from every agency you can think of around the state, out of state. Homeland Security had different TAC teams and stuff like there. And look, they really didn't, and they didn't mess with anybody. Honestly, you didn't have on the radio. You didn't have a lot of fights. You didn't hear a lot of commotion and stuff like that, compared to what I've been involved with in the past with different things down there between other big events and stuff like that. Mardi Gras, there was, there's fights all the time. Everybody's fighting. Everybody's doing stupid stuff. This Super Bowl, was non-eventful. I think everybody felt safe. Saturday night was a little bit crazy just because of crowds, but Sunday, half the crowd, the Kansas City people, was so dejected they couldn't believe what they saw. They're walking back to the hotel room with their heads down. And Eagle fans that were in New Orleans didn't cut up like they did in Philadelphia. It was a very good event, and I was glad to be a part of it, to be honest with you. I know they're already trying to get it back here in 5 or 6 years and stuff like that. I might be retired by then, but who knows what I'll be doing. Hopefully sitting on the couch with living my lap of luxury with all my crypto. But that was a cool thing. But Trump honestly wasn't around that long. He came in right before the game, shook some hands and stuff like that, and he left in the third quarter. At some point. And I was also surprised that, because I have all my Wingbits stations on my phone, the TAR 1090, and we kind of heard, we knew kind of when he was coming in, but you didn't see like this halt to air traffic like I've seen in the past for some previous presidents. You didn't see hardly any aircraft around. You didn't see anybody really around the air. Like, it was different. This one, he didn't do all that. It was crazy. As far as, you know, the amount of traffic he still had going on around there, the cars and stuff. And he did his own thing, and he cut out. It was cool. It was KAGE. Well, but I'm gonna tell you, for those who don't know, KAGE has to be on Android. I complained about that. I don't see why they couldn't do it on iPhone. I don't want to hear about iPhone don't allow those certain type of projects on there. That's BS, because they have other apps that I have that do the same thing. But anyway, my buddy got a brand new Android phone. He told me, hey man, I got this new Android phone, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, I'm trying to get in this project, blah, blah, blah. And I don't have an Android phone. Here you go. Just, you know, me and him made a little deal, handshake deal, whatever, that I get to use this phone with no service on it. And then if he ever breaks his current Android, he needs one back as a backup or something, I'd give him this one back. No problem. I work with him. I don't care. So this one doesn't have service. It has Wi-Fi. So I have in my truck, I have a Wi-Fi hotspot that I use and connect my phones to it and whatever else stuff I got going on in there. So I just connect this with Wi-Fi and drive around, and it works completely fine. And then depending on where I park at, if I'm parking and I try to park closer to the highways now, I just make sure it has Wi-Fi service in there. I bought a little battery pack, or I had a battery pack that you can plug into the phone to charge or whatever. I keep the battery pack plugged into this to keep this charged, or to the Wi-Fi hotspot to keep it going. And I sit there and get 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 connections on it with the KAGE app. So, yep. Oh, I saw Axie lurking in here. So going into that segue, we're going to, I can figure out how to turn some of this stuff off. Wingbits, for those who follow that, which I'm sure majority of y'all do, we've been hooking up geosigners. I've been trying to get those done too. Hey, I knew I was in for a tall task. Some of my geosigners are still hung up in customs. They were getting sent to me, and one of the shipping companies thought they detected a battery or something like that. I was part of because that's my luck. I tell you all the time, I got the worst luck in the world. I was part of the 1% of people who got theirs rejected and sent back to the manufacturer. You know, of course, there was 13 or 14 of them. And sure enough, now they have been reshipped to me, and now they've been in customs for about a week. As of a little while earlier today, they've been in customs. But y'all also know that I have 3 or 4 stations that I work with 2 buddies of mine, because I won't tell you the whole story about helium, but we went and bought a whole bunch of helium devices, and we slowly converted some of those to Wingbits. So those geosigners came into me. I work on 2 stations for my sister, hers 2, and I have a guy at work, Jason, that I got his 3, and that kind of stuff like that. So theirs are kind of easy to get to. So I've been kind of robbing theirs, because the geosigners are not attached to your device yet until you attach it, if that makes sense. They're not married. You can use, if you get 4 or 5 of them in and you have 4 or 5 stations, it doesn't matter which station you connect it to until you do. Then it's married to that name. So I've been trying to get some of the harder ones. Like I have one that's in the field. Luckily, it's been dry enough right now that I can get to it. Then all this rain came last night. Well, I'm damn well happy I got to it the day before that, because it takes a week for that to dry. They're calling for rain again soon. So I've been trying to hit it like that. This weekend, I'm going down to Grand Isle. If y'all have heard me tell that story 1,000 times. Finally going to get that station. Right now, it's been sitting at a buddy's camp. Has been offline. He hasn't been down there because it ain't fishing season. We don't even know why it's been offline the last couple of days. But I have a new place to put it, higher location. And that's what we doing Saturday is. And I know I was getting more than almost 3/4 of the way to Cuba from Louisiana, with it being just 10 foot off the ground, because it was right literally 10 feet from the Gulf of Mexico. Now it's going to be 30 feet off the ground. I have a friend who has let me put this at his camp, and his camp is very well elevated. So that's going to be about 30 feet off the ground, and I cannot wait to see what that coverage is going to be. I will truly be the Gestapo of the Gulf then. The only problem is, where my first buddy's camp was in Gulf, by the Gulf, I had full 360 coverage, and I could see in all directions. There was nothing covering it. The problem with my buddy's camp is, while I'll be able to get way further towards the Gulf, which they do need coverage that direction, I will be somewhat shaded from the building on the backside. But hey, it's still going to be one of my best stations. So I'm happy with that. But I've been working with Axie and bothering the living hell out of him. I'm surprised he hasn't blocked me from Discord yet. But if y'all remember, for those of y'all who are the OGs in Wingbits, but we were buying our hexes and it didn't matter. You could have 3 stations right next to each other. Then when they moved to the new Hex 6 ownership type thing, they shifted some of the hexes around so we can get our own hexes. Well, now we're having issues, and it's very, 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 very few people who were involved in that. So I've been trying to shift some stations around. Well, some of my stations that had a space open in the next hex, I moved 1 or 2 already. But one of the hexes, there's 3 stations owned by 3 different people in that same hex, and all the hexes around it are tied up. Now, the greedy side of me says I needed to just convince them to unplug it, because they aren't getting that many tokens. I think they're getting like 5 to 10 tokens a day. And if I can get them offline, it helps me out. But that is a very penis head thing to do. So I don't know how that part's gonna get figured out, but I've been trying to as I put geosigners in, it says, whoever got the first geosigner in that 1 hex, they're good to go. Of course, my buddy got his, who's the worst out of the 3 stations, because he has oak trees all around his stuff. He's getting like 2 wings a day. He put his in first. So now the other 2 people, mine and somebody else's, mine that was getting 20 wings a day or something like that, now says it's in a bad location. I don't know. But I still have to go an hour in one direction down to Morgan City, where my buddy's office is. I gotta go plug a geosigner in there. I got the 2 buildings in Baton Rouge that I gotta go and find time to go plug those up. Then I gotta hope that I can get a GPS signal to it, because they're both in the in the upper floor below the roof, concrete, and hope I can get satellite to it. You'd be surprised, almost, I don't say all of them, but a couple of them that I have those outdoor boxes. If y'all seen any of my videos with that, and I was able just to put that GPS in that box. I put the whole thing still coiled up with the GPS with the USB extender. I put that whole thing in the box. It's telling me I'm getting 16 to 18 connections. Satellites, and it works good. So roll back to paid hexes. Nah, I don't see that happening. Deploy on a mountaintop. The Gulf of Grumpy. I think that's the only thing I haven't seen yet. I saw a meme yesterday about the Gulf of Mexico, which is the Gulf of America, and how they're gonna sell a sponsorship, and it was like Home Depot presents the Gulf of America by so and so and stuff like that. It's getting crazy. It's getting stupid. I'm old fashioned. All my stuff written down at work says Gulf of Mexico on my comms plans and stuff. I ain't gonna change it to Gulf of anything. So for those who are in Wingbits and stuff like that, apparently there is, which I just found this as I was going here to try to snoop something else for y'all. There's some big news apparently, and y'all are gonna hear it here first as soon as I can figure out how to get this on my other screen. Here is the Wingbits website, and it says there's a major announcement coming in 6 days, 22 hours, 11 minutes, and 33 seconds. Now, I'll take my failed college math and try to figure out when the heck that is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that could be next Thursday. Next Thursday at maybe we'll have to shift my live a little bit for whenever this exactly is, and we can reveal it together on my live. Because y'all know I said, you know, this is the announcement part, but I told y'all when Wingbits itself goes live, y'all gonna see me partying over here, and I don't party often. You know, I joke around about the dancing girls and stuff like that. I don't think my wife's hip to that. But pizza party with some party hats. But I think this is going to be very big enough. Look, a lot of us are waiting on Wingbits. Y'all know I have some blood, sweat, and tears going into this. I'm at 14 stations right now, 14 or 15 stations. Plus what I'm putting up with. I think I'm monitoring almost 30 stations right now. Like, I didn't realize that. You know, I always say, hey, I'm helping some friends out. I'm helping some family out. But when I have to sit here and try to figure out where I'm getting confused is, I got a spreadsheet, but it's like, okay, I got these cool geosigners in. I'll put it on this one, and then I put it on this one, and then I put it on my friends here. And I'm like, okay, well, I only have X amount still coming in. Like, I think I still have 13 coming in, but I have 15 stations left to hit. Who's missing what? That's my catastrophe I'm dealing with right now. But for those who are waiting for geosigners, now for those who are new, if you got one of these professionally made high fix stations coming like I do, you don't have to worry about geosigners. But a lot of y'all are part of that 2,000 club, the 2,000 people, or the 2,000 devices. People like me have multiple, the 2,000 devices and stuff like that. So one thing that was also that I was advised or was made known was that over half of those geosigners are connected already. So if there's 2,000 devices, 2,000 BYOD devices, there should be 2,000 geosigners. So it means over 1,000 are already connected, which is pretty good. Because I have, not that everybody watches me, not that everybody has Wingbits, with Wingbits watches me or anything like that, but it's been made known that the quicker we can get all these geosigners connected, they can start going through that data. They can fish out the few people that are possibly gaming the system. And hey, if somebody was gaming that system in the hexes that you cover, you should get some of those tokens when they get taken away from the person gaming. But you have half the geosigners already connected, and less than 5% are not in that claimed hex. Now, what I'm running into is there was even one station where it was early on and I'm lazy and I only put it out past like 2 decimals or 3 decimals. And it was right on that borderline of the hex. And I got an alert that says, hey, you're not the hex you claimed you were. And it took me just going in there and putting it out into 5 digits and then moved it slightly over. And I pressed save. Luckily, that hex was open and it moved in. And again, that was just me being lazy, not putting all 3 or 4 or 5. Because in the beginning, you couldn't put the map in there and all stuff like this. Is like one of my first stations. Another station, my issue is, like I said, is when they went from paid to the hex system now, if you had 2 in the hex, they tried moving it to, this is what they announced, this is what they said, was that they moved one of those stations to like a hex that nobody was going to occupy. Well, now the geosigner is saying that, you're in the wrong hex. And then you can't move it to this one because you have a station there already, or somebody has a station there. I know I talked about that earlier, but that's probably part of the 5%. And that includes other grandfather stations from March 2024. So they're looking at that as a good thing. Now the question is are some of those 50% that have not plugged theirs in yet, is that because, hey, they're holding off because they possibly don't want them to know where it's at? I don't think so, because I think you got people like me who have 14 of these things coming, and I don't have them here yet. And I don't blame that on Wingbits. It was the shippers, high fix, whatever you want to call it, but it was shippers who mistakenly thought it was a battery, and now it's sitting in customs. Been in customs since the 6th, I think. I can't blame that on nobody other than customs. Get my stuff through. You know, if you think it's suspicious, open the box up. I don't care. Just get me my geosigners. I was hoping I have them in by tomorrow, because Sunday I was actually going to be able to travel to either Baton Rouge or one of these farther out locations. It's harder to do that during the week because I work. But, you know, that's how my luck. It isn't mainnet. That's all I'll say. I actually suggest we put a small font window, not mainnet. Well, of course it's not mainnet. It's an announcement. We know that mainnet's not going to start in 6 days, 22, because we know mainnet ain't going to start until after y'all can get through some of these geosigners and stuff. But I haven't had anybody contact me really that geosigners. I think one person might have said that geosigner hasn't arrived yet. I think that was about it. And they had the same issue I had, where theirs said they mistakenly thought there was a battery or something in it, and they got shipped. So they're part of that, like that 1% also. But hell, if you've had 50% of the geosigners that are connected, that shows you that a lot of them got through different shippers or whatever they used, and they're online. So have we checked Chugwater today? Chugwater might be getting my Missouri station. The guy who had, I set up the antenna when I was, for those who don't know the story, in Missouri, southern Missouri, there's no station nowhere around it. And talking to a guy I was Airbnb-ing, staying at his little ranch house or whatever, when I was hunting in South Missouri in November, started talking about crypto and talking about Wingbits, and looked on the map. Sure enough, there was nothing around there. And I got all excited because he was like, yeah, you can put one up. This is the guest house of these Airbnb. My wife ain't gonna see it. I ain't gonna see it. Set it up. I set the antenna up. I brought the station with me because I took it down from somewhere else, and I didn't have a keyboard to get into it. And then, so you couldn't set the Wi-Fi in or anything like that. So to make a long story short, antenna set up, device came back home with me, set it up, sent it back to him, and he never hooked it up. And that for 3-4 weeks, I tried getting back to him, and then it got hooked up for a little while or something. But either way, he sold the freaking house. So now that's coming back to me. So in the meantime, I had somebody who contacted me about Chugwater, Wyoming. And I said, are you gaming? Like, are you joking? Are you trolling me? Chugwater? And sure enough, there ain't nothing around Chugwater. I found Chugwater on the map, and I'm going to check right now to see if anybody, because what's happened is people think I'm paranoid that when I mention a place I want to put a station at, they think that like I'm being paranoid when all of a sudden station 2, 3, or 4 stations show up. I've mentioned this place in Florida. There's 3 stations there right now. Put a station here with a host, there's 3 stations show up. Talk about Corpus Christi, because I have my hunting buddies there that I go hunting in South Texas with. He's like, man, I want to get in this crypto thing. Well, here's Wingbits. This is the deal I made with him. Sure enough, what happens? 2 stations live show up, and then 2 more that are purchased come up. So then I have another buddy who I met one time hunting in South Texas who lives in Lubbock, Texas. And sure enough, what shows up in Lubbock, Texas? Oh, I'm sorry, Amarillo, Texas. Amarillo, Texas. What shows up in Amarillo, Texas? Yes. So I told a buddy that whenever I get, and the reason I'm talking about is because I've already mentioned it enough times in my videos that there's no secret that Chugwater is right here. And as y'all can see, there ain't nothing around here. Now, can just get the freaking device back from the guy, I'm going to literally turn it right around the same package and get it to my buddy in Chugwater. But I'm not going to go and try to reserve it. I'm not going to do anything until I know for a fact that I have that thing in my hands, or I'm going to have to go buy a new Lipotator and get that shipped out there ASAP. And I'm not trying to buy another Lipotator, sweet potato, or pie or anything like that. You know, I need it. The dude has been sick as hell with the flu. I need to get it done. In 3 minutes, PST time zone will auto update to the new client. So is the new client y'all are submitting. I mean, that's the new update that. So when I go and put my my geosigners in these new stations and stuff like that, I don't have to worry about updating first with the script. I can just go plug it in now. Actually, I hope you're right, but we'll see. We will see, because again, it's happened every other place, and somebody knows somebody somewhere. And I'm curious to see in Amarillo if a station really shows up or not, or somebody just reserved it. That's what I'm really trying to see. There's a part of me that I was still going to send one to Amarillo, but Chugwater is more wide open than Amarillo, because everything Amarillo to the east and southeast, between Dallas, Houston, and that whole area down there, some of those hexes are already being picked up. With Chugwater, you have a couple due south, but other than that, it's wide open. So we'll see about Chugwater. So Axie says it's correct, which is cool. So now, instead of me worried about that I update the script on these stations before I go plug my geosigner in, I don't have to worry about that no more. So that's what he's saying. In 3 minutes, PST time zone will auto update to the new client. Tell y'all, I'm impressed. I'll say this again. I said this last week's live. I'm very impressed with the geosigners. The more I take my time and actually look at them when I'm playing with them and stuff, the design of them, but just the little things that they took note of, that makes me just feel better with this project. I mean, there's a lot of, when you look at that thing, I wish I had one still here, but I don't. When there's so many things they could have skipped steps on, putting the little sticker on the back side of the magnet, with, hey, you get two Robin points as a joke, because that's the inside joke. If you follow any of the AMAs or you've been in Wingbits for a while, that's the ongoing joke. Them with the sticker saying thank you for supporting it, or the 2 stickers in the box, or even giving you, because I told everybody I thought I was gonna have to go buy. I thought I had one right here, but a USB extension to go on these things, you know, a USB extension to do strain relief, because that's what I do. Every one of my stations now have one of these, because I've learned that in the greens or the blues, this is very delicate and a little bit of pressure and it breaks. So I put USB strain relief or extensions on each one. They provided that for you. So not only did they incur the cost of what the geosigners cost, they also shipped 2,000 USB extensions, and he made 2,000 of those stickers from the magnets. And then they even put the little logo on top of the magnet. All that costs money. And just doing that kind of professional stuff and the logo and stuff on the USB dongle, hell, even putting a cap over the USB that they know the first thing you're going to do is take it off and throw it away. They still provided that to me. And I'm not just kissing ass because Axie's in here. Me and him have actually also discussed that too. It's just that just made me feel a little bit better, where some projects I think would have cut those corners. Some projects you'd still be waiting on that stuff to be shipped. And I think whether it's the end of this month, early of March, when we start seeing these devices come in, I think that's going to blow the roof off of the deep end and crypto world, because you have people out there, naysayers, who don't think either is going to come, or they're already crying about refunds and stuff. When you bought the thing, it said end of Q1. And not only that, they were upfront and made an announcement that, hey, during that testing, which is a good thing, But they tested it. When they were testing this, they found some RF noise that shouldn't have been in there. And RF noise, for those who don't know, would have caused you to get less messages, less signals, whether it would have blocked it or bled it out where you wouldn't be able to get some faint signals away. So you would have got less rewards, less messages. They took the time. They knew they were going to hear heat on it, and they took the time to pull those back or stop production or whatever way they did it. I don't know how far they were, and say, we need to fix this problem. And then they also started replacing the LNAs in there, which is the little, what was it, low noise amplifier, whatever it is, with a more expensive model. And HiFix ate the cost on it. So you're getting a more improved device than what you originally were supposed to get. And all that was done. So I think this device is going to be big. I am very curious, because people have asked me, I am very, very curious on how the combo device is going to work. I know the Wingbits device, the WB200, you can separate the antenna on the top from the bowl itself, if you want to call it that, to get that higher. But with the Wingbits GeoNet device, if the bowl is the GeoNet antenna, that's going to change that game up a little bit. So I'm very curious to see how that gets out. But again, people who are in there in the Discord and different stuff like that already complaining about, oh, it's not going to be till May till we get them now. No, if you go buy the device today, May is 2 months out, 3 months out, 2.5 months out. Which for the people that bought them in October, November, or whatever it was, 2.5 months out. These are supposed to still be shipping in the February, early March. We'll see. Yeah, I try to hit in my videos for people to try to tell them, if you're trying to join Wingbits for the first time, you have this map available to you. You don't have to be a member, or you don't even have to be a member of the website, to sign up as a member. You definitely don't have to be a miner to get to this, but you can easily see where they do and don't need devices. If you're up in here, I would stop what you're doing and make sure you get a device in your hand somehow. If you're up in here, all these blank spaces, that's where you want to be. If you come into here, like, who looks at this and says, yeah, I think I'm going to stick me a station right here? And then that's going to be the people that are complaining they're getting one freaking token. Now, this one's getting 60, so he's making me look like a fool, like I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. This one's getting 10, 12, 13. And this one's getting 2. So it also goes to show you that, I will say, and contradict myself, but I will say that if you have a 1,000-foot tower that you can put yours on and tower over all these, then you're probably gonna get a little bit better rewards. But if you're putting this in your mama's basement or in the backside of a window inside, you're wasting your time and money, and you're gonna be the first person complaining, not the first, but you're gonna be somebody complaining on there about your rewards. So, but you come over here where you have a device by itself, this dude's getting 150. This is a perfect example. He's getting so low on all these. His hex ranking is 1. So he's getting majority of this because he's wide open in the middle. Now, it's also dependent if his antenna is on top of his roof. This guy's getting 400. Again, he's by himself. He's getting 400 tokens because he's by himself. Now, yes, when these go online, it will cut into him a little bit, but they could cut into him like this. I still use my buddy down here, whoever he is. Right now, he's by himself, who's getting 800, almost 1,000, 984, because right now he's the only station online and he can get all these. So if you're in the area that is by itself, jump on it. Even if you have a station already, one or two stations, I would jump on it. But again, if you live around here, if you live right here, there's no reason to get in this project. That's just me. I don't work for a project, so I can say that. But check stations in the LA area. I'm hoping you're talking about Los Angeles, because Louisiana's closed. But helium looked like this too. This was like helium. But again, if you have a station, see, this is a I hate to use this word, but I don't know how else to describe it. This is a piss poor setup. I can tell you right now, it's a piss poor setup, because if you're on the coast like this hex is on the coast, you should be getting hexes out to here. And if Axie's still here, Axie can agree with me, and any of y'all are guys who have set up station before, this is horrible. This is an antenna inside somebody's house, or it's so low they got buildings or something surrounding it. That is this one too. These should be like, here you go. Now, even he's got to be shadowed somewhere, but this at least goes to show you that then this must be a brand new station, because look at his rewards. Y'all can't see his rewards because it's all messed up. But it goes to show you. You see how his just jumped up. So he must be new online. So he has, or he went out there and he improved his antenna setup. But this is what you should be seeing over water. There's another one that's shaded. These guys don't know what they're missing out on with this water setup. I mean, you on the water. This is what you should be seeing almost on the water. 250 tokens. I got a good buddy of mine who lives right here on the coast. Oh, where is it at? With the big pier and all that. I've been here before. For those who watch NCIS Los Angeles, I think that's where that boat shed was, Santa Monica Pier and all that stuff like that. So he works out here. I've made friends with these people in my industry, the RF industry, these convention stuff. I know the guy that runs the radio system out here, Beverly Hills, Long Beach, and I've been trying to get them to let me put a station up. They don't want to do it. They're not even into crypto. But I tried to put, but again, you look at the amount of tokens, 15, I guess, it's not bad for how many people they are. But when all these go online, like, again, who continues? Look, this is 0.6. That's what's going to happen when all these things go online. It's going to be crazy. And you're going to have these people complaining. So just to give it away, this is my device in Idaho. This is what I'm getting right now. It's on top of a farmhouse. Person I used to do my frequency coordination and stuff like that. Her and her husband, military people, so they like to watch they sit there and watch the TAR 1090 screen all the time. Retired military, got some horses and some other stuff, big farm. They always send pictures of it when it snows. And then when I talked about it, this one pops up, and this one just looks like it wants to be a thorn in the side, but yet it's getting 0.1. But even this has increased, and my worry is what's going to happen when these get on, online. But I think I beat that dead horse. Dave, I've seen that comment about my rewards are down to Geosigner. What I truly think is happening is I had 2 devices, Grand Isle and another device. Actually, it's one of my friend's devices. And I knew Geosigners were coming. They've been down for about 3-4 weeks now. I knew Geosigners were coming. So I wasn't going to make a trip out there. It's going to take me a 2.5-hour trip for those who don't know where Grand Isle, Louisiana is, where they have the big tarpon rodeo and stuff. You know, this is the United States. And this is Grumpy Station down here. And again, it's been offline for 7 days. This is a 2.5-hour trip. This is a 2-lane highway, literally, that goes like this and goes like this and comes all the way up to through all this marsh stuff to where a 2-lane highway the whole way. It's a horrible drive. When I would go set this up or do some ham radio stuff, I'd stop and you could just fish off the side of the highway. But anyway, I'm not taking this 2.5-hour drive until my Geosigner comes, which I stole one of my friends and I'm using that one for this weekend. But again, I have another one that is, without giving away my friend's house, is up here in this area. That's going to be this is like, and then here's also Morgan City, 2.5-hour drive. My point is, what I'm getting at is, I think what happens is people are getting their Geosigners in, and now they're putting in the effort to get those devices offline, or they've been waiting for those to come in. It's the first time they're putting them online. So if they're in your general area, then you're going to see a reward drop. This is my buddies, my bestest friend in the whole, I tell them all the time, my bestest friend in the whole wide world. This is the 400-foot tower that I told y'all about, that I had to do some negotiating. But again, so you look at my coverage here. If any of these stations go online because of Geosigners, my rewards are going down. It's easy for me to say it's because of the Geosigner, but any of these stations, look at all this orange. If any of these orange stations start going online, whether it's from the stations, from Geosigners that they were waiting on, or whatever, my rewards are going down for this station. Now, I just hooked this Geosigner up a day or 2 ago, and it's also one of the ones that says it's in another hex, but I'll cover that. But my point is, I think that's also, I'm going to put my Geosigner on eBay for $10,000. We talked about that in Discord the week or 2 ago. You might have been in that 619. People trying to sell their Geosigners on eBay, and I actually was in there too. But they're trying to sell the Geosigners several $100, which makes no sense when for $400 you can just go buy one of these devices at HiFix. So why would you go buy the Geosigner? Why would you sell it? I mean, I guess you sell it just in case somebody buys it, you know. That's just how people are. It is what it is. Dave Big Drip says, damn, look at that coverage. I'm telling you right now, for those, I have videos on it, but for those who didn't see it, this Grand Isle station was, again, I love to use this as an example because I say it over and over like a broken record. This also proves that with the right coverage, with the right takeoff, you don't need to be 200, 300 foot coverage. I'm not joking when I tell you all this. If you go back and look at my videos, I show slides of it. This station that was literally 10 feet off the ground. You know how I know it was 10 feet? Because I used, on almost all my stations that I needed a post, I used 10-foot metal top rail. The top rail for fencing and stuff like that. I even have a YouTube short on it. Went to Home Depot, showed y'all be buying 10-foot fence rail. That 10-foot fence rail was then attached to something, and then antennas on top of it. 10 feet off the ground. That station right there had better coverage and higher rewards than the one on the 400-foot tower, because this one station right here went all the way down here, almost to Florida, almost to Texas, because it had nothing but this. Now I'm going to put this 20 foot higher, and I'm telling you, I will not be able to sleep Friday night. I'll be a Wingbits Maxi or whatever, but it's going to rock. And it goes to show you that it's all about not having anything to further. Them planes are 40,000 feet in the air. It's all about takeoff. And when there's nothing from the ground up right here, you're getting all that. You only need to be high if you have all these obstructions around you. My Baton Rouge stations do good. They're probably my top 5 out of all my stations. But technically, the Baton Rouge stations that are on a several story building are technically taller than that 400-foot tower, but the 400-foot tower does better. Now, what I like about the Baton Rouge station is I can also see Baton Rouge International Airport from there. So that's why when I would like a couple of times Robin and I chatted from Wingbits, on Discord or whatever, I would say, like, he's always talking about possibly changing tokenomics a little bit, depending on how much air. Their vital information that they want is on airports, on the ground. How long is it supposed to be on the tarmac and that kind of stuff like that? And how long is it taking a taxi? How long does it take to get to the gate? That's the examples he gave in one of his AMAs. And also, the lower altitude type stuff. But my Baton Rouge station, that's probably, as the crow flies, several miles away, or even I don't know how I would pull it up without y'all seeing everything, but I could even show y'all my TAR 1090 from that 400-foot tower and show y'all how, even though that airport is like 17 miles away as the crow flies, I don't know how I would pull that up. Yeah, even though it's 17 miles from as the crow flies, I'm getting all kinds of airplanes on the ground around it. So it can't be really a mileage thing. I don't know. I don't know how, I'm sure I actually don't want to give away too much, but I know that they are tweaking those rewards a little bit. Trying to help out some people who are getting a little bit lower rewards. I know possibly capping. This is ideas that have been thrown around in Discord. This is not any kind of inside information and nothing like that, because they don't give me inside information. But a couple different ideas that have been thrown around in the Discord were capping certain rewards if you're the only one around or something like that. Capping it just a little bit, not like crippling it, but I don't know. They just taught that when you go into your Wingbits dashboard at one time, it said like tokenomics are still going to be finalized and you may see changes and different things like that. Well, I got some tail scales. So if y'all not using tail scale is one of the greatest inventions, and the fact that it's free. But I got right now, I can't show you. I got 48 devices on tail scale. They're not all Wingbits devices, of course, but so this right here is my, trying to find it if I can pull it up. Let's see, TAR 1090. So this is that 400-foot tower, the TAR 1090. Y'all bear with me. So that goes to show you that, and as you can see, again, you see where the tower is, but this is New Orleans International Airport, which was jam-packed Super Bowl, and 17, 18 miles away, I can still you got planes taxiing or going to the runway and about to take off and different stuff like that. So Sometimes height is better, because if you were 10 foot off the ground, you're not getting this 17 miles away on the ground station of the ground flights or whatever it is. I'm curious to see if we see this plane take off. But I'll pull this up at work. I got a big TV at work that sometimes I watch cameras and stuff. And sometimes when I'm bored or if I'm really messing with some Wingbit stuff, I'll throw this up and people get a kick out of it, you know. Trying to see. I wanted to see if one of these was going to take off or not. And I also wanted to see if I could pull this over so that y'all could see what the here it is. See the distance. Well, this sure is a slow flight, huh? I mean, he's just taking his time out there. Oh, listen, I really wanted to see some of the stuff in the Super Bowl. I was so busy. I didn't get a chance to really even look at this. The only thing that caught my attention was I knew kind of the timeline that President Trump was coming in and out. And I thought I would see, like, instead of seeing this, I thought I would see, again, there was way more flights than this in the air at the time. I thought I would see like parting of the Red Sea, but it wasn't. You had this same activity going around, more flights than this, taking off, landing, and stuff like that, because it was the middle of the day Sunday, while he was landing and doing what he was doing. I was very surprised by that. But see, we also have this airport where some of the stars, you know, the most secluded airport where some of the stars and the famous people landed at. And Grumpy's got a station about right here. This is the ones I have with my 3 buddies. And it doesn't make a lot of rewards because it's kind of even with his house and stuff like that. But I have it right here just because I know they got several flights, that personal jets and stuff like that, personal planes, whatever you want to call them, that take off and land right here. So I've tried to kind of hit those too. Helicopter going. This is the Superdome where the Super Bowl was. And like I said, our command post for the drone stuff was over here somewhere, and we would just drive around all this with our little drone detection things and stuff like that. French Quarter should be up in here somewhere. Bourbon Street. Bourbon Street was dead locked down after that New Year's Eve terrorist attack type thing. And they had these gigantic, and I had a picture of someone. I was supposed to be making a video of the stuff I saw at the Super Bowl. They had these big metal dams looking things across each road. So this is Bourbon Street. So every one of these intersections on this side and on this side, on this side and on this side, had these big metal dams across the road. And he had military with AR-15s on both sides. You weren't getting through that thing. And it was all like that. And all I did was I drove Dauphine Street, that's right here. Some of y'all would call this Burgundy Street, but this is actually called Burgundy Street. So on Burgundy Street, I'm cruising up and down. This is called Toulouse Street. And Royal Street right here. And I'm just cruising up and down. Some of y'all might mispronounce this. Is called Charters Street. Conti. You know, people make fun of my accent. Oh, what else they got? Esplanade. Anyway, so this isn't supposed to be a how to pronounce New Orleans names. Yeah. So trying to see what else I got. Silencio. I also hit Silencio because I was also doing a lot of walking around there, and I did a lot of Silencio, a lot of venues that people have never hit before, a lot of venues because all that shops on them streets. So I would slow down a little bit and do a venue and get out, walk around a little bit, do a Silencio. And I'll tell you what, my ranking didn't go up. That shows you how many people don't listen to the Discord saying that people ain't doing Silencio. I don't have a lot of venues around work, especially anything that's never been hit. I'm still hitting it a lot. And my ranking went from 580 something during the Super Bowl. I'm up above 600 again. So Silencio is being hit. Don't let people say that. Is that where Taylor landed? I don't know where Taylor landed, to be honest with you. They got several, where I work at, there's a small airport also, and we actually got local law enforcement had a detail there because they were landing there, which in years past, you'd never had people land in our parish, or the parish I work in that airport. But they actually had deputies working over there 24/7 as a security because of the amount of people. The next parish over from where I live at, Ascension Parish, has an airport. They were using that one. And then also Baton Rouge. Baton Rouge is smaller and it's a little bit more further out drive, but they might have went there too. But, well, ladies and gentlemen, it is 8:30. We went an hour and a half. I know sometimes we go 2 hours, but again, I literally ran inside. All my stuff is still in my truck. My Valentine's gifts for my daughter and my wife are still in my truck. I just literally ran inside and jumped on here. Haven't eaten yet or anything like that. So I'm going to do all that and see what's going on. Again, as far as new crypto projects, like I said, I got that little TP link thing that my buddy had to use when he was thrown away because he upgraded to like Wi-Fi 7 or something. So I got the little TP link access point thing that WarU or whatever that name of that project is supports. I don't know if any of y'all got into I'm in Junk Coin. So people have been asking about that. I've joined Junk Coin. I know I told you that last week. Flex Time or whatever they supposedly have coming back. Mainnet. It only took them 3 months. I'm not joining that one just because I'm a whiny baby sometimes, and I told y'all I don't like the way that went down. It was just too convenient that somebody was sitting there ready to be accidentally dropped all those tokens and instantly sold them. That was just way too coincidental, and I still think that they're hiding something, and that's just me personally. No proof to back that up other than coincidence. So I'm not joining Flex Time. I know some of y'all have, even though I had the free credential, because if you were in it before, you automatically was supposed to be able to get into the new one. I'm just not. That's just, hey, look, and I could be missing out on the next big ESP32 project that's going to make me $100 a day. Sometimes you just stick to your principles, and despite what some people think I don't have them, that's just how I feel. I got people asking me all the time about different projects. I'd like to sit in audio and tell y'all that I'm up to date on all of them and I watch all this stuff, but I really don't. I watch Tyler. For those who know on YouTube, Tyler, I watch him a lot. Look, every day he puts out one really good video, and I sit here and I watch, whatever he's got going on. I don't miss any of his videos, and he does some joking with it and stuff like that. But I would tell you, for only having 224,000 subscribers, he needs to have 1 million, because I've been following him since 2017-ish, 2018, and he's been dead on constantly dead on. And he's not telling you about get into this project, and shorting whiff or nothing like that. It's basically what the crypto world is doing, what's happening in the market, what's happening with Bitcoin and that kind of stuff like that. And that's, he is the, he's the number one person that I follow, and y'all know George from Cryptos R Us, and he's got 800,000 subscribers. I hope most of y'all know him, but he's I like him. I'm the last person to call anybody long-winded, but some of his videos go an hour long, and I just don't have time to watch that. But I will say the only thing with George is when there's issues and there's something negative kind of going on, he's going to tell you about it and say this, y'all need to watch this and you need to watch this. George with Cryptos R Us, crypto could be crashing and he's going to tell you it's a great day to have crypto. And this is why you need to buy crypto Bitcoin, and you need to get more Bitcoin. Even though we know there's something bad on the horizon or something like that, it's always it could be going straight ahead. It's always a good time to buy Bitcoin. He's a little too, but that's because somebody did ask me, who do I follow really on YouTube? Those are the two that I followed. And my point I'm getting with all that is they're not talking about DPIN. They're not talking about new DPIN projects or crypto projects or mining projects or anything like that. So I don't, the little bit of YouTube I do watch for the crypto side of everything, I don't hear them really talking about it. And while I love my fellow YouTubers a lot who are in DPIN with me, I'll be the first one to say you have to watch some of them because they're talking about some project that is completely, what. But hey, if you hurry to get into it now with their code, and I'm like, come on, guys, you're making us all look bad. But I'm sure people say that about me, about some of my projects, even though most of them have come good. So, I don't know. Wayru. Hey, look, I still call entropy. I just told you all how to talk about how to pronounce all these names in New Orleans and stuff between Charter Street and Burgundy. Nobody can ever get Burgundy right. I used to drive years ago to help pay for my daughter's travel ball. I used to drive Uber and Lyft, and it was funny as hell to watch these people try to pronounce it and ask me how to pronounce it and stuff like that. Then they're gonna say I sound like I'm from New York, and I'm like, I haven't been in New York my entire life. Born and raised in South Louisiana. And they got people who are in more South Louisiana who I can't understand to save my life. I grew up in New Orleans to a point. But so it's entropy for me, just because I like to be different. And or Wayru, lucky I remembered it, because the last 2 weeks in a row I had to ask one of y'all what the name of it was again. I just need time to sit down and to deal with that. I keep saying this week I'm doing that. But then this weekend I got plans. I got to go in one direction to do Wingbits, and I got to go Sunday, I got to go a different direction to do Wingbits. And I need my geosigners. So hopefully y'all who have those devices, those DIY devices, y'all getting your geosigners set up. Hey, I know it's a little, y'all got some white stuff hanging around. January we had y'all saw my video. We had 8-9 inches of snow, and I probably will never see that again for the rest of my life in Louisiana combined. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7 days later, it was 80-something degrees. It's been 80-something degrees every day this week, and so I don't have to worry about. It's easy for me to say go hook up your geosigners, but for some of y'all got a foot of snow on your roof and y'all can't get up there. You'll have until March. Me, I just tell people I wouldn't, if you have the ability to do it, I wouldn't wait till March because they want to start getting through some of that data and stuff like that. But it might take me to March to get to all my devices in all these different locations, or to get actually, I tell you what, 3 out of my 4 hosts have already set up their geosigners. They were the first ones because the geosigners got shipped directly to them, and they set them up already. Theirs came in. The 4th one, the guy who owns the house, it's his summer home. During the winter, it's in Florida. He rents it out to people that come down during the wintertime, different places. So he's not nowhere around it. So I'm holding on to his geosigner, and that one, just if it gets cut off until, and I've already told the guys at Wingbits so they don't think I'm trying to circumvent anything. He's not coming home until possibly mid to late April. So when he gets home, he'll set up the geosigner. But until then, if I lose rewards, that's not a top. Y'all saw in Florida how I got 5, 6, 7 stations already around it. It's not one of my top stations at all. It might make 10 wings a day, maybe. So if it gets cut off for rewards from March 17th until April, whatever, hey, I got to deal with it. I mean, I don't have another choice. I'm not driving all the way to East Coast Florida for that. So Steve Vazzolino got his SkyX today. Man, let us know how it turns out. My biggest thing about SkyX is I know, and I've seen posts about the other device, the other weather device, freezing up. The little wind vane on top froze up. And I came so close to buying one. I'm glad I didn't. The one that everybody's having to go and reset and stuff like that. But in certain really cold, wet, freezing temperatures and stuff, the little bitty wind vane on top froze, which then now you're not getting proper weather readings. And when I brought it up in the Discord, y'all know I'm a weather geek. I've been a weather geek my whole life. So that kind of stuff, like when I put my Davis weather station up, I had to make sure I put it at the right exact height and everything was calibrated correctly, because I'm a geek with that kind of stuff. And then they're going to sit there and say, oh, no, we're still going to take all your temperature. We don't care if the wind vane freezes. Well, that's not the correct temperature, because there's what's called a wind chill. And that's part of a very important measurement that needs to be turned into NOAA for the weather service. And if your weather vane's frozen, you ain't getting wind chill. So I'm curious if because they tell me SkyX, even though they kind of look similar, they are a tad different. So I'm curious to see if the SkyX weather station has any of those issues. I haven't heard anything about anybody resetting them like the other weather station, Nubula. That's the other one I'm talking about. But when YouTubers have to come out with a video on how to take apart your Nubula device to reset it, and then Nubula's telling people don't take it apart to reset it. Well, then how are you supposed to reset it then? We're coming out with a firmware update. Not if it's locked up. I'm glad I avoided that one. But hey, not everybody's having that issue. But knowing my luck, as I told y'all 100 times, I would have that issue. Oh, Jesus. SkyX supposedly has worse quality control than Nubula. Oh, Jesus. Listen, I love my D-Pin projects, and D-Pin is bringing, that physical device, whatever stuff, to the crypto world. Y'all know I'm into D-Pin. Not everything, though. Not everything has to come to crypto. And WeatherXM has been hit and miss. I tell you all the time, when I was installing my WeatherXM on top of the roof, the damn thing's crumbling, and I got to snap it together. And then during the hurricane, the wind vane worked. I'll give it that. The wind vane worked, and it caught my 75, 80 mile an hour winds. But while I was also up there checking on some of my stuff, and it's storming, raining, the rain precipitation says 0. And then they're going to start knocking me a week or 2, 3 weeks later, telling me my instruments are bad because it's not measuring any rain. As if I'm supposed to be able to take that apart. Now, my Davis weather station, it measured rain, even though it was coming down sideways, it still measured rain with no problem. So the WeatherXM, but I said, I'm still the weather person. I see everybody talking about Nubula. I might get into Nubula. I drug my feet a little bit, and I'm glad I didn't. But does that, and then I also thought this, how many weather devices do we need? Hey, if it pays out for WeatherXM, I think at last I checked on my Monday video, it's paying $1 a day. That's good compared to what some of these other ones are. So it's way better than my Demo's doing. Hell, my Demo, I've owned it for 14 months, and I still haven't ROI'd on it. $89. I say $89. There were 3. If you bought 3 last December, they were $89 a piece. Normally $99 a piece, $89 a piece, and then you paid for the shipping. I still say $270, $275. For a little while, end of December, I finally made ROI. And then with the price drop, I'm still now today, not ROI on an $89 device. So that goes to show you, like, $1 a day for WeatherXM is not bad when you're making 17 cents a day with helium, or helium as they call it, or even Soarchain right now. Soarchain killed our rewards while we were parked. Hey, I can understand that. It didn't make sense that you were giving us rewards to begin with, but people can't say that we're cheating when they allowed it. But hell, if you're going to kill all our rewards while it's parked, you better give us a little bit better rewards while we're driving, or it's not worth it. I drive 2 hours, maybe 3 hours a day. I can tell you, just to show you, I can tell you, I drove today a couple different places while I was at work, and with Soarchain, I made, just so nobody thinks I'm lying, because what's it reset every morning? Well, I made 0. So, which can't be correct because I was connected today. I can't deal with it. I can't deal with it. But, the most I was making, 20, 30 tokens a day, that ain't worth dealing with that headache right there. I know it was connected, but somehow I didn't get any rewards. I can't. Oh, Nubla seemed better quality than SkyX. That's what they were saying. Raining all day, about to start pouring. My weather exempt says not a drop before wards. What's funny though is about 2 months after the hurricane, all of a sudden we're storming outside at work, and I happen to look up and my weather exempt says it's raining and showing an amount, like just fixed on its own after months of it not showing rain. Pi is legit. I think there's been a couple of projects called Pi. I don't know. All right, ladies and gentlemen, now we're going on 96 minutes, and I'm starving. Y'all can tell I don't skip meals often. That's why I can't lose no weight on this diet and going to the gym and killing myself. But I thank everybody who came by for the live. It's cool just to hang out. Again, 19, 20 people here. My lives aren't really a lot of people, but it's cool because then, it keeps some of the negative people out. But I know I get 100-something people view it after. So I appreciate everybody who came by. Again, make sure you're part of my Twitter. Watch me raid entropy all over the place and everything else we do. But I do give it some. I give some updates on other projects and stuff like that too. And I'll use my college math that I failed to figure out when this big update from Wingbits is coming. So next Thursday, we might adjust the live a little bit. I'll make sure I start advertising it on Monday or Tuesday, so everybody knows we'll adjust the time a little bit so that we can keep hitting refresh on our Brave Explorer or Chrome if y'all use Chrome, and hitting, because nobody lets anybody use Edge or Internet Explorer, whatever it is these days. We'll keep refreshing our Chrome tab so we can see what then big announcement is from Wingbits, and me and my negative self might have to avoid that Discord for a while, because I'm sure the Discord's gonna be full of people who are gonna sit here and just try to guess on what it's gonna be and all kinds of stuff, or people claiming they know what it is and they're gonna be wrong, and then I'm gonna have to make ugly comments, and I don't want to do that. And then I gotta get my device in from my guy in Missouri. Find out. I'd feel really bad if he's in a hospital from the flu. He couldn't talk on the phone the other day. Could barely text, and I'm sitting here bothering him about when you're sending me my freaking Wingbits device back so I can get it to Chug Water, Wyoming. So I know it's gonna happen. Is I finally get it in, turn it around, send it to Chug Water, because somebody's gonna see that it's wide open, and I'm gonna be splitting those hexes with somebody because of how long it's taking to go to Chug Water, Wyoming, with my Wingbits device. Drone tracking. Oh, man, don't tell me that. Look at that garbage can right now. I love Wingbits. Keep telling myself that. I love Wingbits. I hope they're not. Oh, come on, guys. Please, please don't tell me that. Let me tell y'all something. I'm going to say this right now. Y'all know I love Wingbits. But what I observed Sunday with these professional players in the world, nobody needs to come up with no more drone projects. Nobody. That and I don't even want to start saying the certain brands, because there are 3 or 4 professional brands, because we've used them at work, and there are some that are behind and are getting more behind, and they concentrate on drone detection 24/7. That is what their whole mission is in their project, in their company, in their business, and they're falling behind. I'm going to tell you right now, and this might upset some people. No deep in crypto project that's also concentrating on whatever it is, whether it's Fry or DeFly or whoever, is going to capture any of the drone market. I was hands on at the Super Bowl and saw what I saw with my own eyes, and telling you, it's not going to happen. Not going to happen. These people flying these drones, and I'm going to tell you something else, because I've been in enough of this training, and I've been involved enough of this at work. People aren't flying drones. Now, don't get me wrong. Yes, in some parts of the world, I'm sure that this does not apply what I'm about to say. But for majority of what's happening in America, drones are being used for industrial espionage. People wanting to get an edge up on the futures to either short the market or long the market for petroleum. And on the Mississippi River, from the mouth of Mississippi River, on the map I just showed y'all, up to I don't know how far, into Houston, Texas, Beaumont, Texas, we have 2 of the largest gasoline refineries in the United States between here and Beaumont, Texas. The drones that we're capturing, or the people we're flying, you know what they're doing? They are being paid secretly by some unknown factor to go and fly over these tanks at these petroleum places, because they're all got floating roofs, so they can see how much petroleum, whatever petroleum product is in that tank, so they get the upper hand on the futures for the stock market. That is what majority of this drone stuff is about. It ain't about terrorism. It ain't your kid who just bought a drone on Amazon. And look, these are some professional drones. We had one at one point up the river that was a fixed wing, so they can stay in the air longer and get more information from these petroleum. And of course, they don't know who hired them. They got some money, and it's going to be some stock firm or somebody or another company, petroleum company, trying to find out what XYZ Petroleum's got. That's what it's about. Who farted? I could tell you you're late, because I started this video off with my normal sad subject on how poor I am right now. My poor side business that I've had for 20 years, that I don't even do ads on here no more like I used to, is struggling. The worst it's struggled in the last 20 years, because all my concentration on my days off, my weekends off, is crypto related. Even though y'all might not see it with videos, it's with Wingbits or something going on. My poor side business is on life support for after 20 years. And I don't have that revenue coming in like I used to. And the overtime, I used to do overtime all the time at work. It was available to me. And I'm busy making YouTube videos or working on crypto stuff or digging into my crypto devices and stuff like that. And but I'll have somebody who comes on some Discord somewhere and say, Grumpy's always saying he's poor. He just wants y'all to use his code more. No, part of the code is, look, I ain't gonna sit and tell you I don't like the fact that I make a little bit of money off the code, but part of the code is also to help y'all. Because if y'all want to go to HiFix and spend $1,000 on a new device, then go ahead. I'm not stopping you. But then you can also use a code and get $100 off. But hey, if you don't want Grumpy to get the money, then pay full price. See? Idiots. Yeah, man, I'm getting grumpy. I haven't, which I know what's new. Dude, I'm going to make some dinner, and then I'm gonna break open a new bottle of Bywater bourbon. And I gotta find the rules on that with YouTube, if I'm allowed to show that off or not. I don't know how they are about alcohol, but I'll tell y'all, for those who've seen my videos in the past about the Bywater bourbon out of New Orleans, I'm telling y'all, I've had some different bourbons in my life. And everybody I have ever sent this to or brought some to, buddies in California, I was telling y'all about that. See, I don't know if I can even share that. Like, I don't know how YouTube works with that, with the advertising and stuff like that. But it is phenomenal. I used to be a Crown Royal Reserve drinker, and this is their straight one, but this is the one I do the 4-grain one, and it is effing phenomenal. And to be honest, I'll mix it with Diet Coke. I don't drink it straight. I'm not that crazy, but it is phenomenal. 7-3 Distilling Company, 73distilling.com. If any of y'all want to look into it, which the Bywater is right in that area. I showed y'all the map of the French Quarter for those who were here during that part of the video. That, the French Quarter is, Superdome is right here on this map. French Quarter is somewhere up in here. And this is the Bywater. They call the Bywater section of New Orleans. And, they got different types of alcohol. My sister swears by this cucumber vodka, which is not me at all. I'm not a vodka person. Do some rum every now and then. And the Marinade is another section of New Orleans right next to Bywater. But so y'all saw all aspects of New Orleans in this video. Wingbits parties next week, gonna get some wings. Wingbits party is when they go mainnet. And I know they're gonna have people who are itching that they can't wait to get some of them tokens, them testnet tokens, just so they can hurry up and sell them. You watch these people who got them Silencio tokens and they couldn't wait to go sell them. And you look at people who got that grass drop in November, October, whatever it was, at 46 cents and couldn't wait to go drop them. And then it was $4 2 weeks later, and I loved it because I staked mine. So, with Wingbits, I don't know if they're gonna have staking. I don't know if they're gonna have what CEX they're gonna have. I don't know how a lot of that works. Some people you got to set up pools and stuff like that on some of these. With it being a Solana token, I'm sure you can go set up pools on Radium and stuff like that. I hope people do, because y'all know I got a decent amount of Wingbits coming to me, and I would love to be able to stake majority of it and gain even more Wingbits tokens. I don't sell anything. Like all these projects I'm in right now, I haven't sold anything. But why are you saying just one party? Oh, well, I mean, you can have. I guess there's always an excuse to have a party. I don't know. Y'all saw how I just reacted. Y'all threw a wet, damp towel over me just now on this announcement next week. God, dude. It better not be nothing about no drone detection. Please, God, please. Now, I know at one time they were talking about doing something with some non-7/8, the ADSB that uses non-7/8. At one point somebody was doing something with the little VHF. I had a VHF dongle right here. VHF dongle. They got, I forget what it is, but there's VHF tracking for flights over water. Or it could just be, he said it wasn't mainnet. I'm still wondering if that was a twist on words by accident. He says it's not going to be mainnet. So he didn't say it wasn't going to be the announcement of mainnet. He just said it wasn't mainnet. Yeah, I don't know. Bourbon sales are going to be hurting a lot soon. Corn farmers will be hurting. I'll be laughing. VHF was for boats. There are VHF dongles out there. And I hate to give any kind of cred to this other project that we don't discuss anymore, but you knew there were black VHF, black dongles. Then there were green dongles. And then when those started burning up, we started using blue dongles. But have you seen the yellow dongles? This is VHF, airband. And like I said, flights over air, over water for some reason, will also send out VHF. So you can use this for flight tracking and stuff like that. You can also use that to listen to different things like that too. But again, there's some kind of beacon that is sent out for that. But yes, they're also that's why I started with messing with these, is because part of my with ham radio and stuff like that, we have what's called man, I can't think when I'm hungry. But oh man, my brain is so fried right now. But they have different tracking and stuff like that with the ham radios and stuff like that too. And you could take that map and overlay some VHF tracking from the boats and stuff like that and overlay that on these maps and stuff like that. Can't believe I cannot remember what the hell. I don't know. It's been a long day. I cannot believe I cannot remember the ham radio freaking. Like when I'm put on the spot like this, I can't remember. Oh man. APRS. Can't believe I could not remember APRS. Because I have those also. Repeaters. But that also you can overlay VHF, and that's how I started using the black dongles, was for, just to show y'all real quick, the VHF dongles can be used, or these black ones, but you can see right here where there's somebody here that has one of those hooked up to a computer. So now you can track boats on the river. So you can see all these boats on the river. And again, I have the car ham radio tracker. So like you can put a little ham radio tracker in there, and that's what APRS is. Not that I think any of y'all want to listen to any of this, but I knew a little bit about that. But supposedly the yellow ones can do the boats like that, or planes over water, international waters, something like that. So that's y'all's ham knowledge for the day. WeatherXM price teasing. Every now and then WeatherXM does do something like that. WeatherXM was one that we use, for example, that actually shows you what happens when you actually put a little liquidity into your token. And I wish there were more projects that wouldn't rely just on burning, but actually put, as customers purchased in, they use some of that money. There's a big little jump on WeatherXM. It came back down, but it's at 38 cents for the last 7 days. It's up 8%. So yeah, what happened to GeoNet? 31, it made this drop. GeoNet's constantly burning tokens. But I know Wingbits, we've discussed that in the AMA before with Wingbits, that they do have a plan that as customers do buy in, they're going to use some of that money to inject liquidity into their token. But let's be honest, as a brand new project, you got a lot of expenses that you put in with, other than some fundraising, you have a lot of expenses, and you need customers to be able to pay off some of those expenses. They are business too. So I don't know how much liquidity, I don't know how it's cut up or anything like that. But all right, let's go take care of your women. Well, Valentine's Day ain't till tomorrow, but all the Valentine's Day stuff that I got is sitting in the car. Yeah, I can't think when I'm hungry. So appreciate it. Jay Styles told me to go eat 4 hamburgers. That's why I'm as fat as I am now. But I appreciate it, guys. If y'all make sure y'all like the video, it's 9 o'clock. We officially hit 2 hours. I'm getting the heck off this thing. So I appreciate it. Thank y'all for all the support as usual. And because I don't know what kind of knowledge y'all getting from me from rambling for 2 hours, but hey, I like the fact that y'all chit chatted in the comment section. Y'all kind of bounce stuff between each other and answer one question that I probably could answer. And who knows? I probably might have a WarriorU device by next Thursday, and we'll figure out what time it is with the Axie or the Wingbits big announcement that's coming. Please don't be drone detection. Please don't be drone detection. So anyway, we'll see what happens. Y'all have a great night. Thank y'all again for the support. See y'all on the next